Calvin ordered a Rhino snorkel for his from Bancroft, so we're just gonna attempt to install it. I've ordered one for mine, but it's gonna get installed on the first service, so I have to wait for mine, but we're gonna try and tackle his ourselves. So, wish us luck. So far we've taken the front plastics off and these side plastic pieces, which took a while because this bolt here was the one holding on the front plastic, and we mistaked it for another bolt, so we just ended up taking a little bit more time, and then washed out that rod while we had full access. And they had us take this out. I believe Calvin said that there's a replacement to maybe bring it up higher. Not really sure yet. So, on to the next step. So we've taken the one off from here and then put the new one on, extended it up. This came out, the old piece.
I think it's somewhere.
Is somewhere.
Oh, it's under.
So here's the old piece. Just had to undo the bolt, pull it out. Then we used this goop. See how well that works to seal around here. And then this is the old piece that was here. And then we just cut the plastic here. And then now the next piece is to be cut here, I believe. So next, this piece went on, and then just attached there, and then attached down there. And it looks like that's dried up pretty good. So Calvin took the heat shield off from right here and then placed this one on, and this one was already on from before. I don't know if you can. So those two went on. Oh, and this got removed. This was up here. So the heat shield's back on. This is just to cover where the clutch exhaust went in before. So it's just covered. And then it's kind of hard to see, but up here is just a little bit of heat shield padding. And it just kind of wraps around that one airbox drain. So Calvin put this shield on, put this module on, and then next this piece is going to slide on there kind of thing and run from that. I'll need to get a flashlight. Where'd that flashlight go? Run from that exhaust and it'll run up.
Which my bike had is a friggin' snorkel.
So Calvin took the old coolant hose off, and then we drained it into a bucket and drained the bottle, took it off, and then now putting the new hose on. So hopefully that goes well. And you have to keep your hose protectors to put back on. So the new rad hose is in. It tucks back here, so then it gives more room for the clutch exhaust to come up. And then, can I see that piece? No. These are the clamps that they wanted us to use, but they're a pain. So then we just put a normal hose clamp in there, which was also a pain, but it was a little bit easier than these things because we don't have the tool for that. So we managed to get the clutch vent put on back there. Runs up here, and then the next piece was this one, which wasn't bad. And then next is just trying to figure out which bolt goes to hold this to this. So we figured out the bolt has to stick out so that the head can be sucked in. And then the next piece that we put on was the continuation of the exhaust that runs all the way down. That runs all the way down to here. It just vents out. And then we had to put the heat shield tape on it. So, and then next we'll put some heat shield tape around here so that this doesn't heat up. So far it looks pretty good. It's been tedious, but it's not hard. Calvin printed out the 39 pages worth of instructions, and so far it's been pretty straightforward. Just a little bit. This one was difficult just because the clamp is hard to get a screwdriver or anything in. So it was just a little finicky. So this piece, I believe, was in like that. Maybe the other way around. But regardless, it was in to hold the fuse box. And it calls to be drilled out, so we just used a metal drill bit and drilled the rivets out, and then now a replacement bracket goes on there. So we've put this bracket on, took those two bolts out, put them back in. It says to throw them out and use different ones, but
It does say to reuse those.
oh, those ones it says to reuse. There's a lot of things on here that it says to throw the bolts out and use new ones, but the bolts were fine, so we just used the same ones. Then we took this vent line off of the engine and then put a new one on, so that, because it was only long enough to sit in that tray there. So now it'll run all the way up, and then we'll zip tie it all in together up here. And we're just trying to figure out what to do with this one and this one. We're not really sure where this one goes yet, so we'll see. So Calvin started to plug these back in and run it this way. This is the fuel vent hose. So we're going to add, it says 10 inches of hose line, and then loop it up and over so that it comes back down probably about the same length as this one. And then the rest of them, once we're at that stage, will get zip tied. Correction, that was a front diff line. We think that the fuel line is already run with one of these three, because we can't seem to find another one yet. So we gotta work on that one. But there's the fuel one, and then you can see the rear diff runs up, and then they all seem to join in here together. There's two of them there. And then the third one comes in there too. So we figured it out. 10 inches on each of these so that it loops up and over. Extend all of them. And then we're just putting that heat shield on the front of the clutch vent there. So we put the plastic back on. The hard part was getting at the bolts back in there that hold the bracket there. But other than that, not too bad. So we ran the rest of the vent lines there, zip tied it, filled up the coolant, and put the fuse box on that bracket there. Just on an angle. We made it so that the cable came to the back here, just so it wasn't so much stress on that, pulling it up to that end. And then now just some final touches, and then put the air filter back in, and then put the plastics on, or the Rhino horn on. Yeah, hopefully. So Calvin drilled the holes for the Rhino horn and placed it on. Just pressure fits in those rivets there. There it is. Managed to get the plastics on all nice. We added the mud handle so that we can pull him out when he gets stuck. Looks pretty sharp.